out a bit so people can see that there's a football field.
What?
Go tell them to just zoom out and leave it on the players warming up right now so people know there's a game going on.
Hey, Miss Jake told me to see if you could plug any phone in or put some tunes on anything.
Yeah, I can plug in my basketball music, I guess.
Plug in your basketball.
If there's an aux cord here.
Stay on my craft and stick around for those pounds. But I do that to pass the torch and put on for my town. Trust me, I'm my INDEPENDENT shit hustler. Chasing dreams since I was 14 with the 4-track bustin'. Halfway across that city with the back question. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people, spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people. Spread it across the country. Here we go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Here we go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Now, can I kick it? Thank you. Yeah, I'm so damn grateful. I grew up really wanna go fronts, but that's what you get when Wu-Tang raised you. Y'all can't stop me. Go hard like I got an 808 in my heartbeat. And I'm eating at the beat like it gave a little speed to a great shot, one shot, weak bar. So I go wild, I'm gone. Deuces goodbye. I got a world to see. My girl, she wanna see Rome. Caesar make you a believer now. I never ever did it for a throne. That melody should come, so giving it back to the people now. Sing a song and it goes like, raise those hands, this is our party. We came here to live life like nobody was watching. I got my city right behind me. If I thought they got me, learn from that failure, gain humility, and then we keep marching. And we go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. to this. Tripping in the world could be dangerous. Everybody circling this fortress. Negative, negative. Everybody waiting for the father man. Everybody praying for the end times. Everybody hoping they could be the one. I was born to run, I was born for this.
Okay, good playing. Sorry. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. Live.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mountain Iron Buhl as we get set for this Section 7-2A. I got to get used to saying that for football, George, as the International Falls Broncos get ready to take on the Mesabi East Giants. We're welcome along live here on kcc-tv.org, and I assume soon to be on the on KCC TV on Midco Channel 7. Folks, you can see it, well, you maybe can't see it. I can see it on the clock about 18 and a half minutes before the national anthem and everything gets started here. So I don't even know what time it is, George. We've been running crazy here. It's about 8:31. I would say that game time will be about 8:55, and the International Falls Broncos come in with a 5-3 record. Mesabi East at 2-6. This is the 3 versus 6 seed. And did you get any news on number 5 for Mesabi East? That's my biggest question going in. Cole Meyer, one of the star players for Mesabi East, has been hurt the last couple of weeks.
It has, and I talked to my friend Randy Anderson up in International Falls. He's the one that told me that Cole was probably out for the season. And so I haven't seen him out there, and I haven't seen him working. So I'm kind of assuming that he will not be playing.
The conditions are very, very windy here at the Mountain Iron Buhl. The wind is kind of a wind that's going from our right to left, so that will definitely play havoc in this game tonight. There's no doubt about that, George. The Broncos obviously have been a passing team this year, but I don't think you can change their colors. They're going to have to stay with that.
No, they are. And, but I'll tell you, they started doing a nice balanced attack last week against Virginia, and Noah was ramming into people, and so I think they're going to have to run a little bit against this team. But the key, I think, to the game, again, is going to be Falls defense, and just whether or not they can control Mesabi's running game. If they can do that, and if they can control the edges, they're going to do well.
When these two teams played up in International Falls about 4 weeks ago, the International Falls Broncos won by a final score of 38-20. You might recall Mesabi East led in that game 8-0 on a halfback pass. One of the things that this team does a lot of is throwing halfback passes. I'm sure the Broncos have prepared themselves for that. The Giants weren't able to throw the ball much other than on those halfback passes, and the Broncos were able to kind of control the game and do the things that they needed to do. You mentioned about this team being more balanced and doing the things that they need to do. That is something that when I talked to assistant coach Seth Edestead this morning, he talked about these are the kinds of things that we're going to try to do to try to control the game on the ground if we have to.
If
we need to do that. So there are things that he is looking at to do to deal with the breeze and everything that's going on here this evening. I think what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a little break, and we'll come back and we'll kind of probably talk a little bit more about this as people start to come online and do the things that they need to do, and we'll make sure that Jay and everybody's ready to go here when we come back a little bit later here from the high school field here at Mountain Iron-BUHL.
You got 5 minutes in the band starting to play anyways. It doesn't even have headphones back. I agree, this is not a good song for.
Nothing ever comes without a consequence, and cause coming. Will the stars align? Will heaven step in? Will it save us from sin?
I just assumed that we were going at 0-0-0-0.
Try to watch the coin toss, see what happens. Haven't seen one all year.
No. The field is narrower though.
I don't know. I don't think they could get away with that.
To me, it looks like it's fucking. I don't know.
I think it's just the way it looks.
Could be.
Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, looks good.
Good. Just wait.
I'll be fucking coming in my shoes. You can bring boots? No. Well, everybody at work looks at me like I'm out there grooming out fucking cars, no gloves, no stocking cap, in my work shoes, and it's like, yeah, I know. Jake, give it to Cody already? Jake! No, that's him.
We must have lost the toss.
You're there, they haven't done it yet. They're doing it now.
We pointed that way.
Let's go, Broncos! That wind stayed down, it wouldn't be bad at all. That wind stayed here like this, it wouldn't be bad.
We're gonna be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Slippery.
Could Mr. Luke Winans please come to the scorer's table? Mr. Luke Winans, please come to the scorer's table.
Yeah, that's my fear.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to Mountain Iron-BUHL High School football field as we get closer and closer to the beginning of this football game. George, about 6 minutes on the clock. We've convinced the PA guy that that's when we are going to start the starting lineup, so we're about 6 minutes away from that. But, George, we got talking about it while we were taking our little break here, that you said a former head coach that you know always said it's tough to beat a team twice in a year.
And it is. I mean, Mesabi East is going to be well prepared. Whether or not they can stop our outside receivers and slow down Jace Helene, that's another question. But they're certainly going to. I know they've been working on it.
We've been watching here as well while we were in our break. Cole Meyer, number 5, the best running back for the Giants is in the lineup. He looks like he is going to be starting. He looks like he's running very, very well to me in the last couple plays that I've seen him get the ball. They have been running all wishbone so far, and that is something that the Broncos did not see, I don't believe, one play during the game that the Broncos played against them a few weeks back, but it is something that I saw during the first part of the season, so I'm not surprised to see this. The question is, will the Broncos be ready for it?
Well, that's right, and like I say, the defensive line is really going to have to work hard here, and they did go to that wishbone, and they like the wishbone, and they can spread the wings out and have a single back. They can do a number of different things off it, and will. But that wishbone, it looks like they're going to take the Broncos on the run.
Gavin Skelton, the fullback, in the point of that wishbone, where you got the fullback close to the quarterback, and then a couple of halfbacks in there behind people familiar from way back when about the wishbone. But it'll be something to see if the Broncos have been preparing for 4 wide receivers like they saw the last time. Now you got to come up with an adjustment and be ready to go. And it's something that the Broncos, I will say, struggled with some power running against GNK and with Moose Lake Willow River, the two of their 3 losses.
Yeah, but I'll tell you also, the last couple of games, the Bronco front 4 has really kind of picked up the pace a little bit, and I'm not so sure about the game before that they lost, but against Virginia, they were really plowing over, and I think they kind of got a confidence. I think they came up to another level, and I think they're going to have to do that again tonight. Gavin
Wilson had himself quite a game on Wednesday night against Virginia. 2.5 sacks, a couple of tackles for losses, and seemed to assert himself, and hopefully we're going to see some confidence gained with him continuing here into the playoffs.
Well, that's right, and I'll say this, that's the best defensive game that he's played this year. Might be his best total all game that he's played. So he came on strong, and between he and Noah, they had the center pretty much covered, and Kaler and Lovelace picked up the ends. The linebackers are always going to be there. They're nice and quick and fast, and they move well. So, and another thing the old coach used to say to me, linemen, keep those guards off my linebackers, let them do the work. And I don't think the Bronco linemen believe that. They want those tackles as well. They're very aggressive.
They play very, very aggressively. I think the same thing can be said for the ends. You talked about the team being able to do things on both, offense both ways is what I'm trying to say. Last week, 272 yards passing, 273 yards rushing in the 54-0 win over Virginia. And a couple of those big runs, one by Jay Saline, the other one by Ben Glowak. And they got a majority of their rushing yards that way, but they were able to take a very close game, 2-0 after the first quarter, and blow it out to a 28-0 lead at halftime.
Yeah, it was Virginia came on strong. In that first half against Virginia, the game was always pretty tough, but I had a feeling that they were going to pop loose, and in fact, early in the third quarter they started to, and then they controlled the rest of the game. But the thing that they have about their rush is Jay Saline is still their best rusher, and he's going to come at you strong. And even Benny Glowak, the other quarterback, he got the big rush in, and so the quarterback is the key here.
The quarterback definitely is the key. There is no doubt about that. I will say that. I can tell you that the North Central Stars led the Northern Freeze 30-0 at halftime. And a couple other scores of interest in Section 7-2A. Royalton on the road at Eveleth Gilbert tonight. Last report led 36-7 over Eveleth Gilbert. Proctor in 3A defeated Two Harbors tonight 10-6. In the game played just prior to where we are tonight, Cherry defeated Ely 44-0. Earlier today, GNK in the Section 7-3A shut out number 6 Virginia 42-0. So there's some games there for you, some scores along the way. Of course, most of these games will be final by the time we leave here tonight. So we'll see what happens. As it was a very interesting night, George. I will say to everybody out there who's watching on TV or the internet, we were here prior to 6 o'clock. And at about 8 o'clock, we were still debating whether we were going to get on the air. And Jay Boyle pulled as much magic as he could out of his body and his brain and everywhere else to get us underway here tonight in this game. But we're glad to have you along. We hope you're going to enjoy this broadcast. And here comes the starting lineups for this football game here tonight. So we'll turn it over to the PA guy, Mark Glowak.
First, starting lineup for the Mesabi East Giants. Starting defense, number 2, safety, Hunter Canucksala. Number 6, linebacker, Hunter Lavander. Number 7, linebacker, Cooper Lavander. Number 9, at a corner, Charlie Karish. Number 11, at a corner, Cole Swanson. Number 22, defensive end, Jack Rivich. Number 30, linebacker, Logan Schroeder. Number 31, linebacker, Gavin Skelton. Number 72, Tyler Ritter, defensive end. Number 73, defensive tackle, Caden Mackey. And number 76, defensive tackle, Isaac Stavnes. The Giants are coached by Steve Grams, Keith Mackey, John Skelton, Dave Hillman, Bob Hill, Will Benza, Will, and Chris Schuck. And now, International Falls Broncos, starting offense, number 2, quarterback, senior, Jace Helene. Go, Jace! Number 5, senior wide receiver, Anthony Sorry. Number 13, senior wide receiver, Jackson Scholes. Number 17, senior wide receiver, Johnny Borger. Number 34, junior wide receiver, Riley Larson. Starting at a running back, number 40, senior Noah Mathis. Starting at attacker, tackle, number 54, senior Travis Taylor. Starting at the other tackle, sophomore, number 58, Gavin Lovelace. Starting at a guard, number 64, Cody Jensen. Jr. Starting at center, number 65, sophomore, Cameron Jones. And starting at guard, junior, number 77, Gavin Wilson. Broncos are coached by John Thompson, Jared Cochran, Seth Edstead, Jake Edstead, Seth Bjornrud, and Cody Helene. Referees for tonight's games are Kurt Schneider, Greg Steniger, Don Walande, Tom Huffdahl, and Tyler Platt. Now, if you please rise and face the flag. Gentlemen, please remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Tonight's game is being played under the rules of the Minnesota State High School League. These rules provide for fair play and good sportsmanship among players and coaches. We ask that spectators promote the ideals of good sportsmanship fair play and respect.
George, are we ready for football?
We are. I
Holy
tell you what,
smokes.
this is we got a historical thing here. We've got a playoff game live on KCC. It doesn't get much better than this, and I tell you what, we got a beautiful field, semi-dry. And we have an awful lot of people at home that didn't make this trip that are looking forward to this game.
5 minutes to 9, we're going to get this game started. It is. We got to thank these people, these groups of people, for getting us on the air tonight. We could not have done that without them. The Bronco football boosters who helped out the class of 1967, George, who you were a member of, and of course also North 48 Degrees Builders, who have been over at your house remodeling.
Oh, the Groet boys. They're fantastic contractors, and they've done a really good job.
The Giants won the toss, and they have elected to receive. They will be going left to right across your video screen here tonight. And if you're joining us on the Iron Range from across the range, we're happy to have you along there as well. If you decided not to come out on this wet and windy and cold evening, it will be number 13, Jackson Schultz, that will get things underway for the Broncos. Looking deep, I see Gavin Skelton, and I believe it is number 6, Hunter Levander. Let me take a peek at his sleeves. They are black. That's how I'm going to tell the difference between 5 and 6. Black sleeves for number 6, Hunter Levander, and number 5, Cole Meyer, has red sleeves. That's how we're going to go as we get ready for this Section 7 2A playoff game, and the kick is underway. Schultz's kick is a short one, comes down at the 30, picked up there, and the referee, I thought maybe had missed that as Charlie Karish put his knee down right there, and it'll be no return, and that's where the Giants will get this game started right from the 30-yard line. So a 30-yard kick there for
31-yard line.
number 13, Jackson Schultz. And they will put the ball on the 31-yard line, so a 29-yard kick. It'll be 1st and 10 there for the Giants. And we'll see if they decide to come out with that 4 wide receivers or that wishbone that they were working on. A coach would never not show what he's going to do during the game.
No.
Here they come with 4 wide receivers. Shotgun. So here we go. The Hunter Hanuxla, the junior quarterback, sits in the shotgun. Puts a man in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Levander. He tries to go off the left side, and there's no place to go. The ball's on the ground, and the Broncos have recovered it. And it was number 58, Gavin Lovelace, that will come up with the fumble recovery, and the Broncos in business near the 30-yard line for Mesabi on the very first play of the game.
Tell you, Gavin Lovelace came in, made contact right at the line of scrimmage, and it went downhill for Mesabi East from there.
So Broncos will start 1st and 10 as soon as the umpire puts the ball down right at the 31-yard line inside of it. So 1st and 10, the Broncos come up in a set that you are very normal used to seeing. 2 wide receivers each side. Helene along with Mathis in the backfield. In motion is Sari. And looks like everybody had the snap count except for the center, Cameron Schultz. So the Broncos will get the first penalty of this football game as they will take a false start penalty here, and it'll become 1st and 15. So everybody a little tense here yet, George.
Yes.
The playoff game here getting underway. So the Broncos 1st and 15 from the 36-yard line. Happy to have you along here on KCC TV or kcc-tv.org. Helene takes the snap, looks right, throws it to Mathis in the flat. Got a blocker out in front of him, and coming underneath there was one of the linebackers, and that looks like that was number 30, Logan Schroeder, that came up with the tackle on Mathis. It'll be a pickup of, looks like a gain of 4 yards. We'll call it 2nd and 11 coming up for the Broncos at the 32-yard line. Nice little flip there, and there would have been a lot of running room there if Mathis would have been able to break that tackle of Schroeder. 2nd and 11. Mathis to the left of Helene. 2 wide receivers each side. Helene looks in the flats. Goes over the middle. Jackson Schultz gets it on the second hop. There is, he hit it up in the air.
He flipped it up in the air, and it was just a little bit cleaner for him to catch the second
made it
time.
nice and easy. It's a gain of 8 yards to Schultz. And the Broncos will have 3rd and 3 here from the Giants' 24-yard line. Fumble recovery for the Broncos on the very first play from scrimmage. If you're just joining us, as the Broncos have 3rd and about 3 yards to go here as the ball is on the 24-yard line. Helene puts a man in motion. This is Borger, going to hand him off deep. He makes a cutback, gets back towards the original line of scrimmage, and he's going to come up with a loss of a yard on that play for Borger. So coming up now, 4th and 4 from the Broncos at the 25-yard line.
And a whole host of Mesabi's Giants in on that tackle.
All the players looking over at the near sideline, getting the play call. 2 receivers will be on each side. Mathis stands to the right of Helene. Big play here early in this contest, just 90 seconds in. Helene on 4th and 4, drops back to pass. Looks to the corner, looking for Borger. and it's knocked away. Good defense there by the linebacker there, and it looked like to me like that's Hunter Levander that deflected that one away, and the Broncos will turn it over on downs here on their first possession of the ball game. And Mesabi, after the turnover, comes up with the turnover on downs, and with 10:18 remaining, the Mesabi's Giants will start with their second possession of this ball game. Bronco starting defense across the front. You've got Riley Larson, Gavin Wilson, Noah Mathis, and number 58, Gavin Lovelace. Then at your corners, you'll have number 5, Anthony Sari, and number 27, Brian Koenig. Your linebackers will be Borger, Jackson Germain, and and Travis Kaler. Here's a handoff to Gavin Skelton right up the middle. Some power football out of that wishbone. It's a gain of 6 yards on the play, and it'll bring up 2nd and 4 for the Giants at their own 31. And the safety is going to be Diego Christensen and also number 2, Jace Helene. So there's your starting 11. And immediately Mathis is going to come out of the game as Jansen's going to come in and replace him. And I think it looks like he's got a helmet issue as he's got a broken snap or something. So 2nd and 4 coming up for the Giants at their own 31-yard line, under 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. No score here in this Section 7 2A playoff game. Turn around. Little bobble by the quarterback. He's going to get to the outside. He's going to have enough for the first down. Huxela 40, 45, and he'll be pushed out of bounds there. And a possible late hit here as Borger a little bit late on that one. But it'll be a big gain into Bronco territory as it'll be marked at the 47-yard line. So it's a gain of 22 yards for Huxela on the near fumble. And it's 1st and 10 for the Giants in Bronco territory.
Go defense!
Waiting for the official to put the ball down. He's keeping it nice and dry. So they'll put it at the 48-yard line. So gain of 21. Here's 1st and 10 for the Giants at the Bronco 48. Wishbone in behind the quarterback, Huxela. Turns around, hands this off to Skelton. Not much room to go there as coming up off the bottom of the pile. Borger had a hold of the legs, and then a host of Bronco players come in there to finish it off as Skelton will pick up. We'll give him 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Giants at the Bronco 45-yard line. So the Giants come out 4 wide receivers on the first play, and then they come right back to the wishbone.
Run back running, and they got a little motion going here.
2 tight ends here as they go back to that wishbone. Skelton with both hands on the ground, the fullback. Fake to him, now handed off to Cole Meyer. He's hitting the backfield, breaks one tackle, breaks another, now to the outside, 40, 35 down the near sideline, and he's going to be brought down there by Anthony Sari at the 26-yard line. They'll give him 19 yards and another Giants first down.
Come on, Bronco!
Cole Meyer, ball carrier.
Broncos had a bunch of chances in the backfield, just could not bring Meyer down. So good penetration there by the Broncos, but unable to come up and finish that play off, and it's first down for the Giants, as I mentioned, inside the 26-yard line. Mathis comes back into the game as he has his helmet issue fixed, as Huxela comes from the far sideline to with the play for the Giants here, as they have moved the ball smartly down the field here. Started at their own 25, now at the Bronco 26. So they've gone 49 yards in 4 plays. They come back to the 4 wide receiver look. Huxela in the shotgun. Puts a man in motion. This handed off to Skelton. A big hole off the left-hand side, and then it closes down there, and coming up from the linebacker position with the tackle there, Diego Christensen, and also number 58, Gavin Lovelace, come up with the tackles there.
Gavin Lovelace on the tackle.
It's a gain of 3 yards on the play. We'll call it 2nd and 7 for the Giants. Big defensive stand here for the George here for the Broncos on this second possession for the Giants.
This is an important one.
2 tight ends go back to the wishbone here on 2nd and 7. Huxela under center. Turns around, second man going off the other side. It's Levanders to the 20, breaks the tackle, down inside the 15-yard line before he's going to be brought down there, I believe, by number 27, Brian Koenig. Looks like it's enough for another first down for the Giants as they put the ball down on the 14-yard line. It's a gain of 9. And, George, we thought maybe this wishbone might have the Broncos a little off balance. They're going to have to do some adjusting on the fly.
Well, they went for the fullback fake, as did I, and then all of a sudden Levander's scooting off to the left. So
1st and 10 from the Bronco 14-yard line. Under 7.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. No score. Turn around, hand it off to Skelton with a little lead back. We see a flag come running in, and I can see on the backside maybe a Bronco defensive lineman being held there, and that is exactly what the call is going to be. So put the Giants back 10 yards here, and after the gain of about 3 yards on that, that will erase that and move the Giants back out to the 24-yard line approximately. We'll see where the umpire decides to put the ball down after he strides off 10 steps. And they say it was from 13, so it's a penalty of 9 yards on the play. So first and 19 coming up for the Giants.
Bring up a first and 19. Ball's on the international ball, 24-yard line.
See what the Giants decide to do here. First and long. They come up with the wishbone. I saw him run a little waggle pass out of this earlier in the pregame warmups. Hanuxla turns around. Second man, Levander off the far side.
He's got the keeper.
Quarterback kept it. Hanuxla makes one man move. Second guy moves, and then Noah Mathis runs him down from behind, but not before he picks up 5 yards on the play.
Lovely.
So it'll be
Noah Mathis.
second and 14 on the play.
For the Broncos.
Stay home.
And I guess I could say they're picking up chunk yardage. That's the kind of the new term that we talked about, but they've got gains of 21, 19, 9 on this series. So some big plays here for the Giants, and they've all been on the ground. There's 8 plays in a row that have been on the ground. Here comes second and 14. They stay with the wishbone. Couple of tight ends on each side as Nuxla goes under center. This is going to be a pitch, this time to Levander, trying to go off the far side. Turns back inside, gets inside the 15 and back to about the original line of scrimmage when this first and 10 series started.
4 on the play.
And so we'll put him down at the 14-yard line, gain of 4. Here comes third and 10 for the Giants from the Bronco 10-yard or 14-yard line.
Come on, Broncos.
Cole Meyer, I don't believe, other than that one big play of the 19-yarder, hasn't touched the football yet.
No, he
Levander
hasn't.
has been the main guy touching the ball so far. So third and 10. The Giants in the huddle for a long time on this one. Don't seem to be in any rush. Waiting for the back judge to raise his hand, but don't see him going to that. So apparently my timing's off a little bit. Stay with the wishbone. Turn around. This is a pass play. Looks into the corner of the end zone, and it's going to be deflected away. Or maybe went through the hands of the receiver there, but an incomplete pass for the Giants. And so fourth and 10 coming up for the Giants. And Anthony, sorry there on the defense. He may have gotten a hand on that, and I may get to see the replay here in about 45 seconds, and maybe I'll get to see a better view of that. That's a tough angle here in the rain-covered windows, but we're warm. Don't tell Luke Winans that we're upset about it. This is great conditions here at MIB. We're very, very pleased to be inside here tonight. So here come the fourth and 10 play. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Running back in behind him, motion back. Fake it, now roll out, he's in trouble, and down he goes, and the sack comes up, and the turnover on downs. And
Riley Larson
got there, and so did Mathis, but the sack gets the Broncos the turnover on downs, and that was what the Broncos were looking for. And the Broncos hold, and we remain scoreless here in this first quarter as the Broncos will take over for the second time in this game. They took over on a fumble on the first play, but we're unable to make the Giants pay for that. 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field. Helene takes the shotgun snap, hands it off to Mathis right up the middle. 20, 25, puts his head down, and he'll pull it ball out to the 29-yard line. It's a gain of 12 yards and a Bronco first down. So the Broncos went to the air on the first 2 plays, then had a running play that went for -1. And now they come on first down, pick up a dozen yards, and they put 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Mathis, the running back to the right of Helene. Helene takes the snap from Schultz. It's a good one. Looks left, now comes, or looks right and then left, throws it up in the air. Ball's batted around, and it's going to be knocked down there, incomplete. And 4 players all right there with an opportunity at that one, but knocked away at the last moment.
Larson and Sari were together, and both the defensive backs were together. It was pretty crowded to put that ball in.
It was a pretty crowded area, and of course I can hear some wind in our microphone, but I look across at the flag, and I know it's wrapped around the flagpole a little bit, damped against there, but I can hear a little wind, but I don't see so much. So 3 wide receivers again to the near side, second and 10. Matter of fact, it's 4 wide receivers. Helene, this is going to be a running play right up the middle. He gets to the 30, leans forward, and he'll be brought down about the 30. Let's see where they mark him. Almost to the 36-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 7. And it'll bring up third and a long 3 for the Broncos. And they went completely empty backfield, 4 wide receivers to the near side. and maybe got the Giants thinking a little bit, how do we cover this and get everybody running around? And so they'll come with the 3 receivers to the near side. Mathis will go back into the backfield now. He'll stay on this side of the formation. Helene takes the snap, hands it off to Mathis. He breaks through the line of scrimmage, and he looks like he's going to be about a yard short of that first down. So here comes 4th and 1 for the Broncos. We'll call it a gain of 2. And the Broncos needing about 2 feet here.
It looks like they're going to go for it.
And I would agree with you there. Although here comes Tristan Thompson up. They thought maybe they were coming out. Might be a good time to take a timeout here and make sure that everybody's on the right page. And now it looks like they are going to punt it as everybody hustles out into the game. Schultz, I think, has got everybody set. And then there's the illegal procedure. And I think if you look at that play on film, George, Christensen was a slot. He has every right to go in motion in. It was parallel to the line of scrimmage. Maybe not the right call, but of course when you see a guy simulate the start of a play, that can also be talked about that way. So here comes 4th and 6. So now I suspect we'll get the punt for sure.
Yes, we will.
Dropping back deep is Levander, and I believe that is number 11. That is Cole Swanson back deep as they stand on near their own 35-yard line. And now, hey, how about bring those 5 yards right back to the Broncos? So now I wonder what the Broncos will do. They got me thinking. Let's go for this. Let's see what happens. Not the right choice in my mind. Early in the game, 0-0. Punt this ball away.
That is like 6 inches from, or a foot from a first down.
Yeah, it is very, very close. And of course, you got your backup quarterback, Ben Glowak, right there, who's, well, maybe going to take the snap. Would they possibly fake it here? No, they're going to try to punt this one away. Punt is away. It's along the near sideline, hits about the 35, takes a roll on that turf, and will roll down and go out of bounds. And so we'll see. They're going to put it right at the 27, they decided. So it's a 40-yard punt. Mesabi East will take over for the 3rd time, this time at their own 27-yard line. Again, our sponsors for tonight's game, Bronco Football Boosters, the class of 1967, and to North 48 Degrees Builders. We appreciate you allowing us to bring you this game tonight here from MIB, as it is late in the evening. It's after 9, and we're just getting this game underway. Here come the Giants. 2 wide receivers to each side. 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. Hanuxla puts a man in motion. He's going to run it up here off tackle. 30, 35, 40, and he's off to the races. 50, 40, 30. Hanuxla at the 20. He's into the end zone, and there are no flags, and the Giants lead this game by a score of 6-0 on the 73-yard run by Hanuxla.
That makes the score Mesabi 6. Right at the Falls Broncos 0.
George, that's maybe a little... One of the things about being aggressive is you get up close to the line of scrimmage, and if there's no free safety in the middle of the field, which the Broncos don't have, it can go for a big play.
No, and in terms of Hanuxla, that's his 3rd carry for 100 yards.
Not too shabby.
No.
So here comes the 2-point conversion play. They put the ball on the right hash. They'll go with 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Hanuxla rolls out to the near side. Jesus, looks like a play that the Broncos might run. Now pitch back to Skelton. He throws into the end zone, and it is incomplete. So the score will remain 6-0 here in favor of the Giants, and the Broncos trailing here. I think when we played the Giants the last time, I think we had that same thing happen, George.
I think it was, yes.
And it was an 8-0, and it was on a big play of an 80-yard pass, as I recall, on that pitch pass. So something that the Broncos are familiar with, at least in this mention of how they played the Giants the last time. Just getting a text from my mother, just telling me it sounds good. That's good. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate that. 3:26 remaining here, and the Broncos have had the ball twice. Okay, went 3 and out, or 4 and out actually on their first possession. The second possession, basically the same thing. Got one first down and then stalled out. Not time to panic yet, right?
No, no, and not at all. And actually, on the last drive, they come up a half a yard short, and and they're running the ball pretty well. So no, there's no reason to panic.
Cole Swanson getting ready here to kick it off for the Giants. Tucker Hell and Tristan Thompson deep for the Broncos, standing back on their own 15-yard line. Kick is away. It's a line driver that Hell takes at the 11. Coming straight up the middle now, right along the hash.
There's a hole.
Breaks a hole. Gets out near the 40-yard line before it closes down there. And so a good return after the 49-yard kick. It's a return of 29 yards, and the Broncos with good field position at their own 40-yard line. We could see it open up very nicely, and Hell just couldn't find enough to get past all those white jerseys as it closed down at the last moment. So they put the ball down at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Broncos there. Jackson Germain in the backfield with Helene this time, his first time back there. Helene drops back to pass. He's under pressure, and down he goes.
Please, tackled for a loss on the play.
So the sack is going to be a loss of.
Come on, Bronco!
Cole Meyer with the sack.
See if you're going to put it down a loss of 8 yards. It'll be second and 18. Put the ball at the 31-yard line here for the Broncos. So they'll bring 3 receivers to the near side. Actually, 2 to the far side. No running backs in the backfield as they bring Bryant Keating into the contest. Helene takes the snap. He looks to go right up the middle, breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle, now to the 40, breaks another tackle, and now he'll be pulled down at about the 42-yard line, a pickup of 11 for Helene. It'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the Broncos at the 42-yard line, and that's that best running back thing that you've been talking about all year, George.
I'll tell you, you have to, Mesabi East has to be awake for that all night long, because if he sees that hole, he will go.
3 wide receivers to the far side, 2 to the near side. 3rd and 7 here for the Broncos as Helene is in the backfield by himself. Takes the snap. Going to throw this one. Looks across the middle, picked off by Stilton, and he'll be taken down there by Riley Larson. And Helene just tried to put a little too much touch on that one, and it was picked off.
Mesabi East will take over on a turnover. 1st and 10 for the Broncos.
So about the 41-yard line right there is where the Mesabi East Giants will take over at the 41-yard line, 1st and 10. And like I said, Helene just tried to put a little too much touch on that one.
He was moving a little too forward, and all of a sudden Stelton popped right up to it.
Yeah, Skelton at 6'2". He's a big lad there.
Yes,
It's tough to get it over the top of him. So the Broncos, once again, get a first down, but cannot find a way to get multiple first downs. And so the Giants leading 6-0 here with 2:08 remaining in the first quarter. Start with great field position at the Bronco 41-yard line. 2 wide receivers to each side of the field as Hanuxla is in the shotgun. Puts a man in motion. This is handed out to Skelton right up the middle. He gets to the original line of scrimmage, and he'll be taken down there. As coming up off the bottom of the pile will be number 34, Riley Larson. So Skelton will pick up a yard. We'll call it 2nd and 9 for the Giants at the Bronco 40-yard line. One big play, that 66-yarder. Wait, got to go back 73-yarder for Hanuxla. That is the difference in this ball game right now as the Mesabi East Giants lead the Broncos. The number 6 seed leading the number 3 seed 6-0 here as we approach 90 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Hanuxla hands it off to Cole Meyer coming to this side. He tiptoes, waits, bursts through a hole, and he looks like he's going to be very, very close to a first down.
Looks like he'd be very close to a first down.
We'll blow the whistle here as they will mark it, and I'm actually kind of surprised that they moved the ball back to the inside.
Cole Meyer was really cool on that run. He just kind of shuffled his feet, wait for the hole to open, and hit it.
That's a sign of experience back there when you can run the ball that way. And they are going to bring the chains in here to check this out and see what's going to happen. I say he's got just enough for the first down, but we'll see what the chains tell us. We don't have to worry about the lines being crooked, I don't think, or anything like that. I'm sure everything.
No. Beautiful field. This is really a gorgeous field.
Of course, a couple other games played earlier here today.
Oh,
he's got enough for the first down by the look of my eyes, and give him 9 yards on the first down.
Come on,
The GNK Titans defeated Virginia 42-0 here this afternoon, and then early this evening, the Cherry Tigers 44-0 over the Ely Timberwolves in 9-man football. AA football, I did get a final score on that Eveleth game. Royalton 36, Eveleth Gilbert 19.
Royalton.
So Royalton will be playing at Moose Lake Willow River at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. The winner of this game travels to Crosby Ironton for a 2 o'clock game with the Rangers. 1st and 10 from the 31, Wishbone. So there's a fumble, ball's on the ground. I think the Broncos got it.
Broncos got it.
And this time it is going to be Noah Mathis that comes up with the fumble recovery.
1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
So the second fumble of the game for the Mesabi East Giants that they have lost. And the Broncos hopefully can get some momentum here with less than a minute remaining. As, well, they tried to do a little faking there. And Hanuxla, it looked like he wasn't sure if he wanted to give that ball or keep that ball. This handoff is to Jackson Germain off the side. Right side, he's got some room, and he's going to be out to the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6 yards for number 35, and the Broncos have 2nd and 4 from the 40.
He was dragged down by Gavin Skelton again. Skelton's playing himself a nice game here.
40 seconds and counting remaining in this first quarter as the Broncos trail 6-0. Helene along with Germain in the backfield. Again, handed out to Jackson. He goes out the right-hand side. He's got enough for the first down and more. Cross midfield and knocked out of bounds about the 44-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 16 yards for Germain. And the Broncos, with the clock stopped now with 23.7 remaining, have the ball at the Giant 44-yard line. Broncos will bring 3 receivers to the near side. Mathis comes into the game, into the backfield. Broncos, couple of plays, good running room off the right-hand side. Helene takes the snap, hands it off to Mathis, off the right-hand side, 40, and he's going to be brought down about the 37, and here comes a late flag. And we'll see if this is against the Broncos or if it is a could be maybe a face mask in there. We'll see what
could be.
We'll see. I couldn't see what the linesman showed the referee. It's going to be going against the Broncos. It's a block in the back against the Broncos. So the Broncos will get a penalized 9 yards on the play officially. So it's going to be 1st and 19 from the 47-yard line. Could be the final play of the first quarter here as the Broncos come up with a pair of wide receivers to each side of the formation. In motion comes Mathis to the near side. This is going to be Helene right up the middle. Midfield tried to break a tackle. He's pulled down at the 48-yard line, and that will be the final play of the first quarter after Helene picks up 5 yards on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 14 for the Broncos from the Mesabi East 48 into the first quarter. Giants lead it by a score of 6-0. Happy to have you along here on KCC TV. Go ahead, George. Talk about the Blues or your favorite whatever. I'm going to post this online, okay?
Go ahead, post it online. Right now, the Broncos, they're kind of in a little bit of a hole, but I'll tell you what, they were down here before. It's only 8-0. So if they can score and get Mesabi East back in their heels a little bit. Also, Mesabi, that's the second fumble that they've lost. So they're making mistakes out there, considering Cole Meyer is kind of running wherever he wants to go, and Hunter Huxela to his Skelton is working both sides of the ball. So Mesabi East is playing well.
I think the Broncos' biggest thing, as we mentioned before, don't panic.
No panic.
Just play the things the way you're supposed to do it.
That's right.
And see what happens as we get ready to start this second quarter. The Broncos will have it 2nd and 14 at the Giants' 48-yard line. Going to come with a pair of wide receivers to each side. All the players looking over at the coaches who are calling out the plays. Now moving to the far side of the field will be Borger, so 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field. 2nd and 14 here from the 49-yard line. This is going to be Helene going off the left-hand side. to midfield, looking to get to the outside. 45 turns the corner, 40, and near the first down stake. We'll see where the linesman marks him out of bounds. He says the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 11, and the Broncos will have 3rd and 4 coming up from the 38-yard line. So a very manageable down now on 3rd and 4 left here for the Broncos, as they'll come back with 2 wide receivers to each side of the field.
Well, Jason Helene pulled him out of the hole again like he's been doing all year long.
3rd and 4, ball on the far hash. Helene barks out the signals, takes it. This is going to be handed off to Jermaine, and down, ball fumbled, turned it over. And that fumble created by Cole Meyer as he hit Jackson Jermaine just as he was getting the ball, and the Broncos have their second turnover of the ball game as they will lose it here. And the fumble is lost, and Mesabi East comes up with the defensive play. So both teams now have turned the ball over twice in this football game as the Giants lead it by a score of 6-0.
That was Jack Rippich. He's just a sophomore, and he plays pretty healthy out there.
So we'll see what the Giants come up here. Looks like they're going to come with that wishbone.
Here it comes.
Skelton, the fullback. Now look, the one halfback a little bit further up, more like a power eye. Turn around, hand this off to Skelton, so he's got to lead back, and he is finally going to be tripped up after a gain of about 5 yards. And that is going to be Noel Mathis, or excuse me, that is going to be Sari and Borger who will be there to tackle Skelton as he comes up with a gain of 5 yards. 2nd and 5 now for the Giants. And you can still hear the wind blowing every once in a while as we're up here in the press box. 2nd and 5, stay with that wishbone. Anuxala under center. Turns around, hands this off to Meyer. He's hitting the backfield, and he's brought down by Travis Kaler.
Well, Travis is going to have to play a good game, as is Loveless. They have to control the edge, and if they can do that, it's going to be a lot easier for them to win this game. If they don't, it's going to be a long night.
3rd and 7 coming up for the Giants now. Loss of 2 yards on the play. So now the Giants with a big decision here, 3rd and long. Do you go into the air, or do you try to keep this ball on the ground? Stay with the wishbone. Anuxala under center. Turns around. Play action pass. Looking to throw it down the near side, and it's just out of the reach of the tight end, crossing all the way across the formation. And it looks like it'll bring up a sure punting situation. And wait a second. Flag. I'm hearing flag. I'm looking. Do you see the flag?
I do not see a flag.
I don't see the flag either, but it certainly looks like what they're discussing. Can I say that I'm?
Oh, it's against Mesabi East, I think.
Oh, he threw it right down here. It's it's out of the field of play. No wonder we can't see it. The Broncos standing right in front of it. So we think incomplete pass, but there's a penalty, and they are discussing it on the far sideline. And the official who threw the flag isn't even involved in the conversation any longer. Now he's going to run back in and make sure that the referee. We've got a personal foul. Oh, one of the Bronco coaches or players got in the way on the near sideline, and a 15-yard penalty coming up here on the Broncos.
That is a 15-yard penalty on the Broncos.
So that will be a first down for the Giants at the Bronco 43-yard line. And usually you get one warning, but maybe they had already gotten the warning, and just one of those things that I'm kind of curious who was in the way, but either way, that's the way things go, and so the Broncos are going to unfortunately give up the first down here, and here come the Giants. They'll come up with a pair of wide receivers to each side of the formation. Hanuxla goes into the shotgun. Now a man in motion. Turn around, Cole Meyer on the counter. He's got some room. 40. Here comes a flag being thrown in by the umpire, and throwing that in the area of holding. Meyer picked up about 4, but we'll see if this is the holding call that we suspect that it is. And it is.
It is a holding call against Mesabi East.
So we'll see where they flag was at about the 42-yard line, and they
That is
step
a
back
10-yard
10
penalty.
yards from there. So it'll be 1st and 19 for the Giants at their own 48-yard line.
1st and 19 from their own 48.
It's not a very crisply played game, and I
No,
wonder
it's
if the
not.
late hour, the weather, or all of the above have to do with that.
And it's a tournament game, and
And it's a tournament game.
Come on, Broncos!
1st and 19. 2 wide receivers to each side. In motion goes Levander. He's going to get the pitch to the near side. Gets cut to the inside. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another tackle. Breaks 2 tackles down the near sideline. 30, and he'll be brought down by Borger inside the 30-yard line. And another big play for the Giants.
Tackle for the Broncos.
This is a
That
gain
is enough for Mesabi East. First down.
of 26 yards if they put it down at the 26-yard line, which I think is where they're going to put it. And it's 1st and 10 in Bronco territory. The Giants looking to add to their 6-0 lead. Here the number 6 seed. And remember, the Broncos defeated the Giants 38-20 at the midseason mark, the 4th game of the season. And the Broncos right now have to keep their emotions in check here and find a way to come up with a stop. Stay with that 2 wide receiver to each side. Look, in motion comes Meyer. Skelton going to fall behind him, trying to get to the outside. Broncos close the hole down, and Skelton's going to get a gain of about, we'll call it 3 yards on the play. Coming up off of the bottom of the pile, Jackson Germain and Gavin Wilson.
35, Jackson Germain in on the tackle.
We'll call it a gain of 3, 2nd and 7 for the Giants. And the holes, George, I'll say it this way, coming off tackle seem to be pretty big, but the Broncos were able to close it down there.
well, that's right. And it's like I said, keep those guards off my linebackers and let them do the work. And that's, although that one, I think.
I know one of the things, see how far our ends are playing out
They
on
are.
those wings. Look at that hole between the tackle and our defensive end. This one is going to be to Skelton up the middle. He's dancing in the backfield, and when that's happening, the Broncos will come up with the tackle. They say he gets back to the line of scrimmage, no gain, and it'll be 3rd and 7 for the Broncos at the 23-yard line. And the official wants the clock stopped and tell the drums to quit beating during the play.
Drums, please quit playing during the play. Stop when the play starts.
So 3rd and 7 coming up here is the referee. Good voice. I can hear him all the way with that. That crowd mic might have helped, though. I am getting old, so I don't know if my hearing's as good as I'd like it to be. The Giants stay with that 4 receiver look as Hanuxla with Skelton in behind him. Puts a man in motion, Levander. This is going to be Meyer on the counter play. Hit by Levels, breaks that tackle, jukes to the outside, and he'll be down near the 1st down. And Hanuxla kind of gave that play away. He looked over at Meyer, making sure he would knew, almost like he knew that he was going to get the ball there. It's a gain of 6 for Meyer, bring up 4th and 1 from the Broncos' 17-yard line.
Looks like it'll be 4th and a very short 1.
You would suspect they would be coming
Broncos
wishbone look here,
17 and a half.
and giving it to probably number 31. Let's see if Cole Meyer, the running back, moves up a little bit. He is, so he can get in front. This is coming off the left-hand side, I would guess. And it is Skelton. It looks like he's got enough for the 1st down as he gets down to the 15. And then the linebackers come in, but he's got enough for the 1st down. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from the Bronco 15. So the Giants started this series, from their own 39-yard line. Now down to the Bronco 15-yard line. 7.5 minutes remaining in this 2nd quarter with the Giants leading it 6-0, and the Broncos are going to take a timeout. That gives me a chance to remind you that this game is brought to you by the Bronco football boosters, by the class of 1967, and also by and the North 48 Degrees Builders. Thank you to all those groups for allowing us to bring you coverage of that game. And if you'd like to see more Bronco sports, you can go to the kcc-tv.org website, and you can look on how you can make a donation and allow us to bring you more sports, more local Bronco activities here on KCC Midco Channel 7. And of course, we're available online on Facebook and on YouTube. So you can put us on your smart TV, you can put us
Worldwide.
on your phone. we're all ready to go there. So after we come out of the timeout, here come the Giants. They are going to stay in the wishbone here.
Come on, Bronco!
First and 10 from the Bronco 15-yard line. Hanuxla ready to take the snap. Fakes it one way, now he's going to roll out. There's a man in his face. He breaks that tackle, breaks the second tackle, and then he's going to be brought down. And Riley Larson is going to be the one who pulls him down. But a pair of flags came flying in, and unfortunately the Broncos couldn't come up with a tackle in the backfield. Hanuxla has shown me something with his feet in this game.
Well, did you see Riley just grab him from the back and fling him down?
So
not a classic form tackle, but we'll take it.
The holding call is going to come back at about the 18.5 or 19-yard line. So they're going to walk 10 yards off from there. So this will be a big penalty on the Giants. It's going to be one of 14 yards, so it'll be first and 24 from the Bronco 29-yard line. We like to see those kinds of penalties
That was
if you're a Bronco fan.
Go, defense!
3 receivers to the near side now in a bunch formation, one to the far side. Hanuxla going to run a little option here, breaks up inside the end of Riley Larson, hangs on with a foot. Jermaine finally helps in also Borger there on the takedown of Hanuxla. It'll be a loss of a yard, so bring up second and 25 now from the Bronco 30-yard line. So very well played there by Riley Larson, who's playing out a little bit wider, was able to hang on to a leg and get his buddies over there to help out and get that tackle.
Yeah, the last 2 plays, Riley has really been coming on strong, and he's going to have to if we're going to be successful in this game.
6.5 minutes and counting remaining in this second quarter. The Broncos trailing it 6-0 in this Section 7 2A tournament game. 2 receivers to each side. Hanuxla again looks over here at Cole Meyer. Gives him another glance. Does that mean he's coming this way? He's looking for Skelton in the flat. There's Travis Kaler all over that for the tackle for loss. And so the pass complete to Skelton. It's going to be a loss of a pair of yards there. And here comes 3rd and 27 for the Giants after the tackle for loss. So the Giants got 1st and 10 at the 15 and then get a holding call, a loss of a yard, and now a loss of 2 yards. And so the Giants being pushed back, and that's good news for the team in purple. Giants break the huddle. They'll send 1 receiver, 2 receivers to the other side. Cole Meyer, long discussion, making sure everybody's on the same page as he comes to the near side. Hanuxla looks both ways now, takes the snap. Looks in the flat, almost like they were going to run a hook and lateral, and it's complete. And the tackle there by Sari and Kaler, but it's a gain down to the 22-yard line, a gain of 10 on the completion.
Come on, Bronco!
To number 26 there, I believe, Jager Whippler.
I think so.
Was the completion. So 4th and 17 for the Giants from the Bronco 22. So the Broncos kept everybody in front of them on that play. Let's see if they can do it one more time here and come up with a stop now with under 5 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Again, 2 receivers each side. In motion goes Meyer. Play action pass, throw it into the flat. Skelton's there to catch it. 15, 10, 5. He's in for the score. And the linebacker did not stay with his key. And the Giants lead this by a score of 12-0.
27-yard touchdown. Mesabi now leads 12. Ernest Falls 0.
A perfectly designed play. You get a guy looking into the backfield, and all of a sudden there it goes, and it's in for the score, and it's 12-0 here with 4:45 remaining. And this was quite the drive by the Giants as they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 plays, and they'll go 61 yards here. And here comes the 2-point conversion for the Giants. Hanuxla in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the far side. He rolls that way. Now flips it out there, and the ball's on the ground. Still on the ground, and finally they cover it up. And so the 2-point conversion fails, and the score remains 12-0 here as the Broncos now down by a dozen, 2 scores here with 4:45 remaining in the second quarter. Quite the quite the drive there for the Giants, George. That's just, you look at it, all runs, and then 3 passes to finish it off.
And I'll tell you, that last pass was a play action, and it was set up. Everybody's been watching Skelton real well tonight, and he just kind of slipped off to the left side, and he was wide open.
So the Broncos, we'll see if they can answer back here before halftime. And I look over at the flag on the far side now, George, and I can see that it is a crosswind here. And that does affect the passing game a little bit, but it's something where the Broncos should be able to make an adjustment here and maybe get something going. And again, you don't want to panic, but you do want to see some points on the board before halftime.
No, and there is a light rain going, but it's kind of a drizzle more than anything, and it's not flooding the field.
Hell and Thompson deep for the Broncos. The kickoff by Swanson. Up front there, and that is going to be Ben Glowak, I believe, who picked that up. Make sure I got it was him. And gets it out to about the 44-yard line.
On their own 44-yard line.
So the Broncos good field position as they'll start on their own 44-yard line.
Come on, Broncos!
3 receivers in a bunch on the near side. Riley Larson, the lone receiver on the far side. Gavin Lovelace asking for the play call again there. And him and Wilson make sure they've got things discussed. Helene along with Mathis in the backfield. Snap, handoff to Noah. Tiptoes his way, breaks a couple of tackles, and then gets stood up there by big number 70,
Mathis on the carry for about
75 there, I believe, Ben Segler.
Tyler Ritter.
And Ritter, the PA guy telling me, I'll take that as a possibility. A gain of 4 yards for Mathis on first down. We'll call it 2nd and 6 for the Broncos at their own 48.
Come on, Broncos!
3 receivers again to the near side. They stay bunched up. Larson, the lone receiver on the far side. He is single covered on that far side. Helene takes the snap. Hands it off to Mathis on the near side. Big hole, and he's run down from behind as he gets a gain of 4 more yards on that play as he was tackled by Jack Ribbich from behind. It'll bring up 3rd and 2 for the Broncos at the Giants' 48-yard line.
Come on, Broncos!
Stay with that 3 receiver to the near side. Got a feeling this is going to be Helene George right behind big number 40. Helene low snap, picks it up, goes forward, gets enough for the first down as he'll pick up 4.5 yards or so.
First down.
So 1st and 10 for the Broncos at about the 43.5-yard line.
You called that one right.
4-yard line.
Yeah, and I can't be for sure on that one. That low snap, maybe just Jace took that one the best that he could. Here come the Broncos. Helene looking to throw. Looking for Larson down the far sideline, up in the air. Larson comes up, had it in his hands and could not complete the catch. And so 1st and 10 will become 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass.
Let's get it, boys!
So they put the ball back down on the 43-yard line. 3:17 the clock stopped at after the incomplete pass. Good opportunity there for number 34.
Well, and we've been living off that combination all year long, and we have to pick up a couple.
Helene along with Mathis on his right side now in the backfield. The 3 receivers bunched up on this near side. The snap. Mathis, no, this is Helene coming out the near side. 40, 35, fumble! Ball's down and the turnover, and the Giants are going to recover there.
Mesabi does recover. Can't tell what number that is. Number 6.
Hunter Levander will come up with the fumble recovery, and Mesabi East will get the 3rd turnover of the night from the Broncos now as they've lost a couple of fumbles and threw an interception in this ball game, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Giants at their own 24-yard line with just over 3 minutes remaining in this first half. And those heads start to drop a little bit, George.
They do.
And you get those kinds of turnovers. It has not been a typical first half here for the Broncos as they trail it 12-0. 2 receivers to each side of the formation for the Giants as Hanusla in the shotgun from their own 24. This handoff to Meyer on the jet sweep to the far side. Being stretched out, breaks a tackle, gets past the line of scrimmage, And he looks like he'll pick up about 5 yards.
Ball carrier on the plate,
And
gain of about
did-
5. Number 5, Anthony
See
Starr,
where
on
they
tackle.
put the ball down. We'll call it a gain of 6 for Myers. 2nd and 4 coming up
Ball
for the
placed on
Giants
their own 30-yard line.
from the 30-yard line.
2nd and 4.
Just
Anthony
great.
Sorry made the tackle. I'll tell you, they're still going to have to cut off that edge because if Meyer keeps on doing that all night, ooh,
I thought the Broncos played that very, very well, and he just kept tiptoeing and tiptoeing, and then
tiptoeing.
took care of business and got out to the 30-yard line there. And so a pickup of 6 for Cole Meyer. And the Giants really in no rush here. No need to be in a rush. Be more than happy to go into the locker room ahead 12-0. Stay with that same formation. Hanuxla puts a man in motion. Low snap. Picks it up. He's got a lot up the middle. 40, 45, could be off to the races. Bronco 40, 30, 20. Jermaine a final chance, and we'll pull him down inside the 10-yard line as Hanuxla
Number 35, Jackson Jermaine.
is going to pick up a gain of 60. Where are they going to put the ball down?
Gain of
At
about
the
65 yards on the play.
64-yard gain for Hanuxla
First and
down to
goal
the
for
Broncos'
Mesabi Giants
6-yard line.
on the International Falls 6-yard line.
So the Giants now looking to add to their 2-score lead already. So 12-0 here as we are having a little issue with our picture. I'm getting a couple text messages on it. So bear with us as we try to keep everything showing you what's happening. As producer Jay Boyle gives me the look like, I don't know what else to tell you. Let's keep praying. Here's 1st and goal from the Broncos 6-yard line. Under 2 minutes remaining. Hanuxla with the wishbone look. Turns around, hands this off to Skelton up the middle. He's hit right there by number 40, Noah Mathis. And with a little assist, he'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. But I think it was Noah Mathis who was
at halftime.
there to help on the stop.
Coffee or hot chocolate.
They put the ball down right at the 6-yard line, so no gain for the Giants on 1st down. 1:19 and counting remaining in this first half. 3 timeouts remaining for the Giants, and you'd wonder if they'll call 1 or 2 here if they fail to get into the end zone here, just to kind of keep themselves a little bit of a cushion. And here is the timeout
Timeout
by the Giants. So somebody saw something they did not like, so the Giants will use their first of 3 timeouts.
Connor Tominski's in the game, playing defensive tackle.
The way I see it now, George, is I see an opportunity for the Giants to for the Broncos to be thinking inside and possibly hit them back to the outside with Cole Meyer. They've had some success with that, getting him off the edge. And then if things don't work out, you come back and do the same thing all over again. And the Broncos have to, of course, be ready for everything, and that's the tough position for the Broncos here with the 2nd and goal coming up here from the 6-yard line.
Yeah, Mesabi using the catbird seat. It's going to make a lot more difficult for the Broncos if they score.
Well, if you go back and think about how this game started, the Giants on their first play fumbling at their own 30-yard line. The Broncos unable to make the Giants pay, however. So they're going to bring a couple of receivers to each side of the formation. Cole Meyer on the near side, Hanuxla in the shotgun. Meyer goes in motion. They fake it to him. Hanuxla hit in the backfield by Lovelace, and down he goes for about a 4 to 5 yard loss. And number 58 was not fooled. Played that very, very well for the Broncos. They'll put the ball down at the 10-yard line. It's a loss of 4 yards for Hanuxla, and it'll be 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. 45 seconds and counting.
Correction, 3rd and goal.
Ball going to be put down at about the 10.5-yard line. Watch number 31 coming out of the backfield into the flat. Hanuxla puts Meyer in motion. This is a pitch to Skelton. Oh, good job by Riley Larson coming off the block. Brings him down there. And the Giants are going to use a timeout with 19.9 seconds remaining.
That'll bring up a 4th and goal.
And we'll see where they put the ball down. It looks like it's going to go down about the 7-yard line, so we'll call it a gain of 3. And a 4th and goal there from the 7-yard line. So does this take the run play out of an option on 4th and 7? I know somebody sitting at home after I make that statement going, no, Tim, no ringer. It's not out of the possibilities. Reggie Gilo would get it in from 7 yards
Yes, he
out.
would, and actually they will throw that option and do it pretty well.
I think this ball is coming into the air, and I think Canucksolo will be rolling out with an option to possibly run the ball. That's going to be my call, and we'll see if the Broncos can defend that with 19.9 seconds. And I'm not saying it's a do or die situation here, but the Broncos do have to come up with a stop here. Being down 18-0 or 20-0 at halftime would be very difficult to come back from. Two wide receivers each side. Canucksolo in the shotgun with Skelton behind him. Takes the snap, looks to the right, throws to the right, and it's incomplete. And the Broncos will hold.
They hold it.
After the big 64-yard run by Canucksolo to get down to first and goal at the 6, the Broncos will come up with the stop here. So first and 10 for the Broncos from the 7-yard line. And my recommendation, Mr. Frake, is the Broncos should take a knee here.
Come on, Bronco!
Yes.
And get into the locker room down 12-0. Unfortunately, that's not what has happened in the past with this Bronco team.
No, and
I say unfortunately because this is a dangerous situation. You could throw an interception here and you could be down 18 or 20-0.
We have seen that.
Well, maybe a run up the middle. You never know. You put the ball in Tu's hands. They put it into Noah Mathis's hands. Breaks to the outside, 10. And he'll be brought down at about the 15-yard line by Gavin Skelton. We'll call it a gain of 8 yards. And the Broncos, no.
That'll be it. Oh.
No, the Broncos. The Broncos call a timeout. .5 seconds on the clock. The referee yells, and the Broncos.
Wants to put 8.5 seconds back on the clock. That will bring up a 2nd and 2.
Well, we're going to try to help out the clock guy here. Well, here comes Jay Boyle. He's going to tap right in there. I believe that I believe the Broncos called that timeout. Did we see either way?
I think they did too.
There we go. 8.5 on the clock. And so after the run of 8, it'll be 2nd and 2 for the Broncos at the 15-yard line. And so the timeout here by the Broncos. So the Broncos come out of the timeout. See if they can come up with some magic here, although, well, like I said, you put the ball in number 2's hands, anything can happen, although the Giants have 4 D-backs 20 yards off the ball, 15 to 20 yards off the ball. You would think nobody's going to get behind them. 4 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near side. Helene takes the snap, looks right, now goes left. Looking, rolling, throws into the flat, and that's going to be incomplete with 1.8 seconds remaining.
Ball is incomplete. 3rd and 2.
So incomplete, and bring up 3rd and 2 from the Bronco 15. So if I do the math on that, George, 8.5 minus 1.8, that's about 6.7. That's like 6.7 seconds.
Yeah.
I'll give you Amos McKenzie. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that. There's no home cooking on that one. Head coach Amos McKenzie here with us. 4 wide receivers again to the left-hand side. Helene all by himself in the backfield. This one's going to be him right up the middle. 20, 25, and he'll be brought down right there. And that will be the final play of the first half. The score at halftime will be Mesabi East 12, International Falls 0. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with more of the halftime show here. You're watching Bronco Playoff Football on KCC-TV.
Say for you hockey fans out there, the Minnesota Wild 3, Edmonton 0. But we did lose Devin Dupnick tonight. Went down to injury.
You guys are cold. It looks like they got a area open up there.
You have a concession?
Closed. I told you I'm not talking to you when you got two of those in your head. Only one. You only need one.
I had to plug my ears because that guy over there. Receptions for the I could do that. One touchdown. Receptions. On the first two? First two plays of the game. The first two passes of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta go find a bathroom.
That's right.
12 yards, yeah.
That's not enough.
Broncos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
I want to switch over to the goddamn ball.
11, 12,
What
Well, welcome back to Mountain Iron-Buhl High School as we are at halftime. The score, Mesabi East 12 and the International Falls Broncos 0. And George, it was one of those halves that the Broncos would like to forget about.
Well, I mean, our passing attack, which we've been relying on all season long, where they were 2 for 7, including an interception. You just can't work like that and figure that you're going to come out.
Yeah, the Broncos, we've seen them be very balanced and sometimes pass the ball more than they've run. They've thrown the ball just 7 times, 17 rushes, 7 passes in this first half. That is partly a product of the conditions, but also I think a product of a few things where Helene has had to scramble, which has been the way it has been all year. But right now the Broncos completed their first 2 passes for 12 yards, have not gotten anything since. They've got 98 yards rushing, not too bad for the first half, over almost 6 yards per carry. So you got to be very happy with that. You've got 110 yards of offense at halftime, but you look over at the Mesabi East Giants, they ran 35 plays to the Broncos 24 plays. The Giants 3 for 6 passing for 30 yards, so a better percentage, completion percentage, also more yards in the passing department. And then, of course, the big runs for the Giants in this first half, I've got them for 29 carries for 258 yards. And if you do the math on that, that is nearly 9 yards per carry. And, of course, Hanuxala with rushes of 73 and 64 yards. That obviously helps that average out quite a bit for the Giants. And they lead it 12-0. And the Broncos are going to get the ball to start this second half. And it seems to me that it's imperative that the Broncos maybe not put the ball in the end zone, George, but that they find a way to get more than 1 first down, because they've been having a tough time doing that on a series, getting more than 1 first down.
Well, and they're going to have to keep they have to keep the defense on the field, and they have to keep up giving up those fumbles. That's killing us right now.
Two fumbles and an interception, so 3 turnovers, and of course 2 turnovers also for the Giants. So that's pretty even if you look at it in that department. But the Broncos just seem to have been doing it at worst times. That really seems too effective. And of course, I still go back to that first play. The Broncos could not make the Giants pay after they fumbled on the first play from scrimmage, and the Broncos couldn't get a first down on it.
On what, the 35,
on
40
the 30,
yard line?
on the 30-yard line, yeah, that's a big one there. So let's run down some scores for you here at halftime, and I won't say that I've got all of the scores. The last report that I had, North Central led the Northern Freeze 30-0 at halftime, and here comes the final, 42-6. North Central defeats the Northern Freeze, so they'll be playing in Kelliher on Saturday in a Section 8 9-man game there. As we get that. Also, Cherry defeated Ely 44-0 in 9-man football. Silver Bay 42-8 over Northeast Range. In a Class A game, Carleton, who played 9-man all year, moves up to 11-man, and they defeat Northwoods 33-18. In AA football, the only other game going on in Section 7 2A, Royalton comes all the way north, defeats Evelyn Gilbert on their home field.
Does that surprise you a little bit?
No, not at all. 36-19 does not surprise me in the least. Royalton, I think, plays in a little tougher league, and their seed was number 5, and so that's how that sits there. In 3A football, Proctor eliminates defending section champion 2 Harbors 10-6, and GNK, the number 3 seed, shuts out Virginia 42-0. The number 6 seed earlier here tonight at the field, or earlier this afternoon at the field here at MIB. And in 4A football, the only other final game or the score that I have, Chisago Lakes eliminates Hibbing by a final score of 49-13. North Branch was the other game going on in 4A football as they were taking on Denfeld. I didn't see a score on Deer River and Chisholm, but I would assume that Deer River, the number 1 seed, rolled in that game. And of course, this also gives us an opportunity to remind you that this game is we couldn't have done it without these people.
Yes.
The Bronco football boosters came through, the class of 1967 and the North 48 Degrees Builders. Thanks to those groups for allowing us to bring you this game here tonight, and we're hoping that the second half is going to be better for the Broncos, George.
Well, we get the ball. Let's see if we can get a drive going first thing, and go from there. there's a lot of football to be played, and they're only down 12-0.
They're only down 2 scores. The wind seems to be picking up to me as we stand inside here. Your hair is blowing in the wind like you're you're doing like a convertible commercial or something. And I'm trying to stay out of that because I'd rather be warm this evening. As again, we worked diligently, and I say we as meaning that you and I and Elijah, our camera guy tonight, we kind of stood around and prayed that Jay would find a way to get this thing on the air.
And he did.
And finally, he came up with an alternate plan and was able to get us on the air. We had to do some redecorating outside of the press box to make sure everything was safe and sound, but we've been able to bring you this game, and I do see the camera flashing in and out occasionally. Please bear with us as we work through that as this second half is coming up. What do you expect from the Broncos? Is this going to be the Broncos look at the stats and say, geez, we only threw the ball 7 times in the first half, we've got to do more of it?
Well,
or is it just something more of a feel of what's going to happen in the second half?
I think at this point, maybe the run game is going to set up a pass. And I want to see Noah and Jackson Jermaine, contribute a little bit like they have been, and maybe break Jay Saline open for one of his quarterback tucks.
Yeah, it's one of those things that the Broncos really. We talked about the big chunk plays for the Giants. The Broncos really haven't had one of those big chunk plays. They've been able to get to a 12 or a 13-yard run or pass play, but they haven't been able to get a big one. And as I look for the Giants, they've got a 21, a 19, a 73. Where was the next one? A 26, a 64. I mean, those are huge chunk plays. And I look back at the Broncos, I think their biggest play was 16, and that was on a run by Jackson Jermaine. They just have not been able to get that big play that really has been a part of their team this year.
No, and Riley Larson has always come up with 2 or 3 big plays in the first half. He has no catches tonight.
He has no catches tonight. You got to give credit to the Giants for being able to take him out of this game so far as we are getting near time for the start of this second half. Again, the Broncos should be receiving, we believe. We'll see if all those things work in the cold weather. You don't always know. And I do see that we are having some issues with our camera outside, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. But
our technician's out there right now working on it. So
I know he's trying to tape that HDMI cable in the right place, and I'm about ready to say, I think I could do this left-handed and put the camera out there the best we could, take it off that scoreboard. We may end up having to do something like that. The Broncos are going to be going, it looks like they are going to be going left to right here in this third quarter. And again, I don't know if there's any advantage to going left to right or right to left.
The wind's coming right across the
wind is
field.
coming straight across at us, and now throwing the hands up is Mr. Boyle, and so I'm going to see if I can do a little action here as I see if I can zoom out and get this on the air. Jay, if you want to try to go big screen with the Swanson ready to kick it off here for the Giants. And brought down there, taken by Tucker Hell. He's to the 30-yard line. Got a hold, 35 to the outside, 40, 45, and there's a big return by Tucker Hell. So the return there by Hell of about 30 yards. And the Broncos will have great field position as they will start 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line.
That was a very nice return by Tucker. That's a son of Derek Hell. He used to played football for me back in 9th and 10th grade.
I apologize there, folks, as I'm multitasking. So here comes 1st and 10 for the Broncos from their 47-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side. Helene in the shotgun along with Mathis. Hands it off to Noah. Off the left-hand side, gets to the outside, and he'll be brought down about the 50-yard line. So it'll be gain of 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 7. Right at the midfield stripe.
Come on, Broncos!
So Helene, Sari heads to the opposite side of the field. A couple of receivers to each side. Helene barks out the signals. Ball at the 49-yard line. Helene looking to throw it. Throws it in the flat. Mathis cannot come up with that little flare pass as Kaler was out there to lead block for him there. So here comes 3rd and 6 for the Broncos from the 49-yard line. And Mr. Boyle is going to grab the camera.
Come on, Broncos!
And he's going to film for us from the far side. So here comes 3rd and 6 for the Broncos. Trust me, folks, that's what's happening. In motion to 4 receivers. Helene looking to go up the middle. He has to break to the outside. 45 and pushed out of bounds. And there's a flag right back at the feet of number 64. And did they get him for a holding call at the point of attack? And so we'll see if that is what the call is going to be here. It certainly looked like that's what the line judge on the far side of the field just pointed out. So it would have been enough for the Bronco first down, but it's going to be a holding call here on the Broncos.
And we'll bring them back.
So put the Broncos back to their own 41-yard line. 3rd and 16 coming up for the Broncos. From the 41-yard line, and well, that was just unfortunate, George. Broncos had enough for the first down, so they'll stay with the 3 receivers to the near side. 1 to the far side, and Riley Larson. Helene takes the snap, drops back, looks right, throws to Borger along the near side, and he comes up with that catch.
He caught
A little da-da-dun Sports Center right there. That is a gain of 22 yards to Borger, and maybe something to jumpstart this Bronco offense as they'll have 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
That was a tremendous catch, by the way. Right over his shoulder, just looked it right into his hands.
2 receivers each side. Helene stands in the shotgun, waiting for the umpire to put the ball down. Takes a snap, hands it off to Mathis, off the left side, 35, into the secondary, 25, and he gets down near the 24, 23-yard line. First down for the Broncos.
And that is enough for Broncos. First down.
So I believe that's the first time that the Broncos have gotten more than 1 first down
Consecutive.
on a series. They put the ball at the 23-yard line, a gain of 14 yards. 1st and 10 for the Broncos from the Giants' 23. Mathis moves to the left of Helene. Helene looking to go right up the middle, jumps over one guy, gets to the linebacker level, and he'll be just inside the 20-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 3 for Helene. And ball marked near the 19-yard line. See if the umpire puts it down at the 19. We'll call it a gain of 4 officially, George. So 2nd and 6 for the Broncos at the 19-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side now. Helene has Mathis to his left in the backfield. Larson all by himself on the far side on an island. Looks there. Larson catches it at the 15. Breaks a tackle. Down inside the 10-yard line, or right at the 10-yard line. Enough for the first down. Riley Larson's first catch on an in or a slant pattern. We'll call it a gain of 9 yards. And the Broncos will have 1st and goal. Looks like at the 10-yard line. Well, let's see now. Before I say at the 10-yard line, not 1st and goal. They'll call it just outside the 10-yard line. So officially at the 11 here now. 2 running backs in the backfield, Jermaine and Mathis, looking to throw into the corner. Picked off, I believe. And it is picked off by the Giants.
In the end zone.
And that was Cole Swanson who comes up with the interception. And the Giants will take over 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. So a good drive ends in a 4th turnover of the game for the Broncos. 2nd interception from Helene. I'll go along with those 2 fumbles as well. 9.5 minutes, just over 9.5 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter, with the Giants leading it 12-0. So the Giants come up with the stop after the Broncos started on their own 47-yard line, drove to the 11-yard line, and then throw the interception. Giants taking a long time in the huddle. Official does raise his hand. I don't think they're going to get this off in time. 1, 2. Nuxala sees it, puts a man in motion. Handed off to Skelton, and he's going to be hit in the backfield and brought down there maybe for a short loss.
24, Diego Christensen, 58. Gavin Lovelace, 34, Riley Larson on the tackle.
So the tackle for no gain will bring up 2nd and 10 for the Giants at the 20-yard line. Broncos jumping up and down, trying to get that blood flowing, trying to get a change back here as the Broncos trail it 12-0 here. Win or go home.
Win or go home.
Broncos were the number 3 seed in the playoffs last year and lost as to the number 6 seed Proctor. Man in motion. This is a handoff to Cole Meyer going out the far side. They stretch him out. This time he is going to get a gain of about 2 yards, as coming up with the tackle is going to be number 54, Travis Kaler. We'll call it a gain of 2, and it'll bring up 3rd and 8 for the Giants at their own 22-yard line. Giants come in with a couple of players from the sideline. Makes you believe that something is going to change there. Now we've got 2 cameras running again, just about. I get a thumbs up on that. That's a good sign. Keep everybody at home happy that they can see the scoreboard and see the field, and then we appreciate your patience. 2 wide receivers each side. Hanuxala in the shotgun. Puts a man in motion. Play action pass. Under pressure now. Gets away from one man. Looking to throw to the flats. And waiting for a flag, and none will come.
No flag.
Good pressure by the Broncos. But give Hanuxala credit, George. He was able to keep that play alive when I thought he was gonna go down at least twice. So the Broncos will hold here. Looks like they'll get the 3 and out, and the 4th and 8 will bring the punt. Is this the first time that the Giants have punted in this game?
I think it is.
It is the first time. Matter of fact, we only had 1 punt in the entire first half. Too many turnovers. Cole Swanson ready to punt, if I remember right. Back on his own 45-yard line is number 27, Brian Koenig. The snap is a good one. The kick, no, he fumbled it. He was down, I thought, by a knee, and the Broncos are going to be in great field position. It looked like the punter dropped the ball and couldn't kick it fast enough after he lost control of it.
He looked up and he dropped the ball.
I didn't see who came up with the tackle, but it's going to be a loss of 7 yards for the Giants, and the Broncos are going to have 1st and 10 at the Giants 15. 16 they're going to mark it at. And the Broncos have to take advantage right here and put it in the end zone. 1st and 10 at the Giants 16. 2 running backs in the backfield. 2 receivers to the near side. This is a handoff to Mathis. He's hitting the backfield, breaks that tackle. He'll get a gain of 1 yard as Cole Meyer comes up with the tackle. 2nd and 9 coming up for the Broncos. Broncos got to throw out of this 2 running back set. They did the last time and threw the interception. But they got to stay with that here as they're going to come back with a 2 wide receiver look to each side as Jermaine will come out of the game. 2nd and 9 for the Broncos. 7.5 minutes and counting remaining in this 3rd quarter. Broncos down 12-0. Helene puts Mathis in motion to the near side. Helene looking left, hits Larson at the 10, down to the 5. He leans forward. He's got 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. That's another complete pass to Larson. This one for 12 yards. And it's going to be 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. So now I heard somebody yell, run it in. I'd like to run the ball in here.
I do too.
Mathis along with Helene in the backfield. 1st and goal from the 3. Helene's going to hand this one off to Sari. Coming wide, got to the 5, puts his head down, and he is going to get to, I can't quite tell, guys.
I don't think he picked up but maybe 1.
We'll see where puts it right at the 3-yard line, so no gain for Sari. So 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. And we're going to ask the clock to be stopped, as not sure why he's, okay. He must have been out of bounds. 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Helene along with Mathis to his left. Puts him in motion out of the picture. Helene is into the end zone. Touchdown Broncos. 3 yards out. Helene goes in, and the Broncos within 6 points here. And they do take advantage of the turnover as they take 4 plays to go 16 yards. And the Broncos trail 12-6, and the 2-point conversion could be a huge one here, George.
Yes, it could.
I mean, that means you don't need a 2-point conversion possibly later in the ball game. 3 receivers? No. Jackson Schultz will become the tight end, so they'll keep the 3 receivers to the near side. Helene will stay in the shotgun here, a little variation of that play that we're used to seeing. Blitz possibly coming here by the Giants. Helene rolls to his right. Tries to break it up, flips it to Noah Mathis, who will try to get in, and he is not in. And so the run fails, and so the score remains Mesabi East 12, International Falls 6.
Number 9, Charlie Kirsch, is there to make the stop for the Giants.
So the Broncos able to take advantage of the 3rd turnover on the Giants. Well, and I don't know if we can call it a turnover necessarily. There was the fumble, but he didn't lose the ball, I guess. So the turnover on downs, the punt that wasn't able to be punted away. And so the Broncos within 12-6, and you can hear the Bronco fans in front of us now a little excited.
They are. They're
And with every right they should be.
Just a little bit easier.
And I see we've got a, my replay here is froze up, so I don't know what's going on.
Back deep to receive the Giants, number 11, Cole Swanson, number 6, Hunter Levine.
So ready to kick it off here is Jackson Schultz. Back deep are going to be Levander and Skelton.
Go, Tucker!
The whistle, and the kick is away. Up in the air, going to come down about the 21. Skelton will pick it up at the 20, goes to his right. 30, 35, up the sideline, 45, 50. He is gone, folks. 80 yards for the touchdown, and the Giants are going to answer right back and take an 18-6 lead.
That's number 31, Gavin Skelton. 80-yard kick return to the end zone. It makes a new score, Mesabi East 18, International Falls 6.
And that's a heartbreaker, George.
It is a heartbreaker. He had 2 steps over the line of scrimmage, and everything was wide open after that. He just blew by everybody.
Yeah, and if somebody didn't get to the sideline to make sure that he stayed away from there, and that's always one of those key things that you want to see have happen. But that's a kick that bounces, and that means your coverage should even be even better. And the Broncos just gave up that first kick return of the year at a very unfortunate time, and it's an 18-6 lead for the Giants. So they will come up for the 2-point conversion. They will come with the wishbone. Hanuxala under center. Turn around, hand this off to Meyer going, this pass to the near side. Skelton. And the 2-point conversion is good. And the lead now 20-6.
For a 2-point conversion, that'll now make the new score. International Fall,
so Hanuxala 2. That was what they scored the touchdown on. Basically the same type of play there. And Skelton puts 8 points on the board in a hurry. And now the Broncos trailing by 14 at 20-6.
Skelton's having himself a pretty fine game here.
Big plays, big plays, big plays. 73-yard run by Hanuxala, 64-yard run by Hanuxala, and now an 80-yard kick return. And the Broncos trail 20-6 here, and are, about the same place we were about a minute ago, actually. And
we thought we were back in the groove.
We thought we were back in the ball game here, but that is not the case. As the Broncos will have to find a way. And so as we come back out here, Swanson ready to kick it off for the Giants. Back deep again, Tucker Hill.
Tucker had a nice return last
Gave the Broncos very good field position the last time. See if they decide to maybe kick it away from him. Kick ready, low right at Swanson. That might have hit Thompson up early. Hill picks it up at the 21, no. Couldn't come up with it and then just decides to fall on it. So the Broncos will start with their, I believe, some of their poorest field position of the night as the Broncos will start back. See where they put this ball down right on the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 there for the Broncos. So the Broncos long field here with 6:17 remaining in the third quarter, down by 14 points now as they put the ball right on the 20-yard line.
Time to pick up some chunks here.
2 receivers each side. Hand it off to Mathis. Makes him move in the backfield. He's out to the linebacker level, and he's going to have a gain of 8, and then the pile pushed forward. And we'll see where they mark him. Not one of the better spots in the world because Mathis was laying on the 39-yard line. He gets marked at the 37, but it's a gain of 17 for the Broncos.
And the last 5 were all Noah.
So 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Biggest play, longest play of the night for the Broncos. Not the biggest play, the longest play from scrimmage, 17 yards for the senior running back. Same formation here for the Broncos. Helene takes the snap, looks left, under pressure, throws it in the flat. Jackson Schultz catches it at the 38-yard line, but had a knee on the ground. It'll be a complete pass, a gain of 1, and it'll bring up 2nd and 9 for the Broncos. Unfortunately, he had to go down low to pick that one up and dropped his knee on the ground, and that's, you know, you get away with that in the NFL. You don't get away with that in the college or the high school level. Long look over at the sideline for all the players. Mathis, I think, didn't quite see the call, so he's getting it from Helene, which is just fine because you got plenty of time here, Broncos. It's going to be handoff to Mathis. Tries to break out the left side. He will get into the next level there, but he's going to be brought down from behind at the 41-yard line there. And it looked like that was Cole Meyer who came up with the tackle. We'll call it a gain of 3 for Noah. 3rd and 6 for the Broncos from their own 41-yard line. Sorry, going to switch sides and come up with the 3 receivers to the near side. That puts Larson on the far side all by himself, along with number 11, Cole Swanson. Take the snap, look right, stay right, throw in the flat. Borger catches it, just short of the first down, makes 2 moves, across midfield, across the 45, and down to the 43-yard line. Best running I've seen out of number 17 this season.
You know, he's really playing well. He's caught a couple of passes the last few games, and he's out there hustling.
Call it a gain of 16 yards. The Broncos 1st and 10 in Giants territory at the 43-yard line. He was short of the first down when he caught that ball, George, but found a way and to give the Broncos a first down. 2 receivers back to each side of the formation. Fake the handoff to Mathis. This is Helene looking, breaks a tackle in the backfield. 40, 35, right up the gut. 20, and he's going to be pulled down inside the 20-yard line. I don't know how he came out of there, George, but he did.
He did. He was a step away from breaking it.
We'll put the ball down on the 16-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 27 and a new longest play of the game. And the Broncos 1st and 10 from the Giants 16-yard line. Looking to answer back here. Broncos, a mix of run and passes alternating here. This if the pattern continues, it's a throw. No, it's a handoff to Mathis. Gets out the left-hand side, 15, and then he's going to be taken down by Skelton at about the 13. Call it a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Falls. Broncos will come with 3 receivers to the near side. Larson, the lone receiver on the far side. Ball sits on the far hash. Under 3.5 now remaining in the third quarter. 20-6. Helene drops back, looking for Larson. Catches it at the 7. And then there are 3 white jerseys, and I think he's got enough for the first down. He does, as he stands on the near the 5-yard line. So we'll call it a gain of 7. And it'll bring up 1st and goal for the Broncos at the 6-yard line. 3 receivers on the near side in Borger, Sari, and Schultz. Larson stays the lone receiver on the far side of the field.
And they're forced to cover him 1-to-1.
Trips will move further out to the outside here along the near sideline. Helene takes the low snap, picks it up, decides to run. He gets inside the 5, down to about the 3. He'll pick up 3 yards on that low snap. Not sure if that was going to be a pass or a run, but Helene makes something out of nothing, and now 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Here comes Jackson Germain into the game. Sari will come out, so the Broncos will go with 2 running backs in the backfield. Larson will come in and play tight end as he'll make a formation that we don't see a whole lot out of the Broncos with a tight end in the formation. 2nd and goal from the 3. Helene takes the snap, fakes it to Germain, gives it to Mathis. Touchdown, Broncos.
Touchdown, Broncos. So 2:16 left in the 3rd quarter. A new score.
So the Broncos take the ball and drive 80 yards in 2, 4, 6, 9 plays. That's a great drive by the Broncos. And they score with 2:16 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And now the all-important 2-point conversion to get it back within 6 points here at 20-14. Jackson Schultz is going to go to, no, that's Borger that goes to the far side. Jackson Schultz becomes the tight end on the near side. Interesting formation. Hand off to Jermaine. No, flip out to Mathis. He's going to look to get in the end zone. Fumbled it just before he got in. And that is going to be no good. That was very, very close to being good, but he did knock it out just before, and then there would have been a big discussion about whether he was in or not in. Did he get in with the dive? Did he not get in? I was hoping he was going to get in. I was trying to will him in, but he's not going to get in there, and the Broncos trail 20-12. Good answer by the Broncos, George.
Good answer by the Broncos, right down the field, and they had good running from both Helene and from Noah. And I'll tell you, right now, Riley Larson's starting to pick up the pace a little bit.
9 plays on that drive, 6 runs, 3 passes only on that. And so the Broncos, well, how do I say this? 2-1 in the runs versus pass, something that we would not expect. I don't know where that just came from, but we're pulling wires here, guys, and we're seeing what happens. Jackson Schultz getting ready to kick it off here. 2:16 remaining. The Broncos down by a complete score, 8 points at 20-12. Broncos can't give up that kick return again. Low squibber. That's going to come down at about the 26-yard line, going to be picked up there by Levander and forced out at about the 29-yard line. So a much better result there, as the ball is going to be marked out at the 28, so a return of just 2 yards for the Giants, and they'll start with some of their poorer field position as they start 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line.
Yeah, young Ben Glowak, he was instrumental in making that tackle over there. It's Stad's the announcer over there. I didn't want him to get too excited.
And I see the clock timeout here by the official. Not exactly sure. Did you have that clock running? No. All right, man. Amos, appreciate that. 2 receivers each side. Hanuxel puts a man in motion. Counter play to Levander and Borger. Right there in the hole to stop him for a gloss maybe of a yard. Called a loss of 1. John Borger all over that one. Saw it happening. 2nd and 11 coming up for the Giants from the 27-yard line.
27-yard line.
You like it when a man stays home and fills the gap, his C gap right there, and does the job.
Especially you got a premier running back like Levander, and you drill him right in the hole. That slows him down. He hasn't had much.
1 wide receiver. The Meyer gets the pitch to the far side. Oof, there's had to be a hold there. Gavin Lovelace, I was watching him get pulled down on the play, but none coming. Meyer's going to pick up, well, we'll call it 5 yards on the play. We'll call it 3rd and 6 coming up for the Giants from the or from their own 32-yard line. So again, he just seems to find a way. There doesn't look like there's anything there, and he gets by.
He's not even moving very fast, but he's got great feet.
So here comes a big play, 3rd and 6 yards. Giants will go with their spread formation. 2 receivers each side. Skelton will be the tailback in the pistol behind the quarterback Canucksville. Here's a pitch to Levander. Broncos had it covered, and a good job of chasing it down from behind by number 34, Riley Larson. It'll be no gain, maybe a half a yard. We'll see where the umpire puts it down. We'll call it no gain. And 4th and 6 coming up in a punting situation with 25 seconds and counting remaining here for the Giants.
Riley came all the way over from the other side of the field to make that tackle. Good hustle.
Koenig drops back to his 34-yard line, awaiting the punt. Snap is a good one. Kick is away. It's a high one. Fair catch by Koenig. He comes up with it at the 34-yard line. Exactly what the young lad was supposed to do. It's a punt of 34 yards, and the Broncos will start 1st and 10 right there at the 34-yard line with 4 seconds remaining. It's been a busy third quarter so far, George.
It is.
The Giants have scored 8 points. The Broncos have put a dozen up on the board. And with 1 play remaining, they'll go with 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Giants in their 42 defense, they've got a free safety in the middle of the field now. Hand off to Mathis. Does a little juke jive, 40. 45, out to midfield. He'll pick up 16 on the final play of the third quarter. And the Broncos, when we start the fourth quarter, we'll start right at midfield, 1st and 10, trailing by a score of 20-12. And I can tell you, that's all right. Nope.
That play does bring the third quarter to an end. After 3 complete, Mesabi East 20, International Falls 12. International Falls will start the fourth quarter 1st and 10 on the 50-yard line.
As we come back, here's 1st and 10 for the Broncos from midfield. First play of the fourth quarter. Fake to Mathis. This is Helene going off the right-hand side, dragging a tackler. He'll be brought down at the 47. Gain of 3, and it'll be 2nd and 7 for the Broncos at the Giants 47. I can tell you that the North Central Stars will be playing Badger Greenbush Middle River, who defeated Kitson County Central 46-32 tonight in Section 8-9 man. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Broncos. Actually, 2nd and 8 as they only mark them for a 2-yard gain. This is Mathis going off the left-hand side. As the ball was on the far hash, he'll pick up 4 yards. And 3rd and 4 coming up for the Broncos at the 44-yard line.
I got Noah for 94 yards so far.
That's
It'd
it?
be nice to see him go over 100.
I was going to say it had to be over 100, but so they'll stay with the 2 receivers on each side. 3rd and 4. Helene puts a man in motion. This is Borger. Fake the handoff to him. Mathis tries to fall in behind him. Cuts back. Got enough for the first down, and here comes the flag for a hold on the Broncos. So be patient here, folks. Deal with my disgust. I don't disagree that the call was there, but it's a tough one. It's a face mask on the Giants.
That is huge.
So give Mathis the 5 yards on the carry, and then are we marking this off 15? Let's see what the umpire does. No, he only goes 5. So first down for the Broncos at the 34-yard line. 2 wide receivers each side. Mathis to the left of Aline. Puts Sari in motion across the formation. Drop back, looking for Larson down the near side. Throwing up in the air, Larson! Cannot come up with that one. That one faded on him a little bit. I think when he judged it, he thought it was going to be a little further to the inside of the field, and it just got outside of him there for an incomplete pass. So 2nd and 10 coming up for the Broncos.
Well, that was one of Riley's classic double pivots from the inside to the outside, and the ball was just a little bit over his head.
2 receivers each side. Borger had me faked out a little bit over there, standing right in front of Jackson Schultz. I couldn't find him. Thought maybe we were only playing with 10 for a moment.
There he is.
Helene waiting for the umpire to set the ball down. So the ball sits just inside the 35-yard line. Here comes Borger in motion. Hand off to Mathis. He fumbled it, and the Giants have recovered it.
There's a turnover on the play. Number 72, it looks like. Tyler Ritter recovers a fumble.
So that is the 5th turnover of the game for the Broncos. And the Mesabi's Giants will start 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. And unfortunately, it becomes very difficult to overcome 5 turnovers in a game.
You just really can't do it. Besides, Mesabi East is a pretty good football team. You give them that many breaks, tough to beat them.
So 10:44 remaining in this 4th quarter. Broncos trailing it by 8 points at 20-12. The Giants come up with the wishbone look. And again, Meyer, the lead back over on that far side. It is a handout to Skelton. He's hitting the backfield. And I think the Broncos have gotten wise to that as well. I think that was Lovelace who came in from his end position to come up with the tackle. No, that was Noah Mathis that comes up with the tackle. And they will call it a gain of a yard for Skelton. So 2nd and 9 coming up for the Giants from their own 38-yard line. 10:15 and counting remaining. Clock becoming the enemy also of the Broncos. Giants will stay with the wishbone look. More balance, so probably Skelton not getting the ball this time. Maybe number 5 coming this way. Second man through it is Meyer. He's hitting the backfield, and he is going to be stopped right there as Sari and Christensen will be there to put the stop on Cole Meyer. He'll lose a yard.
Loss of 4 or 5. I don't know.
Loss of a yard. They'll put it back on the 37-yard line. So good job by the Broncos. Here comes 3rd and 10 for the Giants. We'll see if the Giants decide to put this ball in the air or keep it on the ground, keep that clock counting, and see if their defense can come up with something. They're going to go to their 4 wide receiver look. Skelton alongside Hunuxla to his left. In motion now comes Meyer. They fake it to him. Hunuxla off the left-hand side. He's got a big run. 45-50. 45 breaks to the outside, gets a block. 30 breaks a tackle. 25, 20. Ball, I thought maybe knocked out of his hands, but there's another huge play by number 2, Hunter Hunuxla. He is brought down at the 15-yard line. It's a gain of 48 yards for the quarterback before Kaler runs him down and stops him at the 14-yard line. So actually a gain of 49 yards as they'll put the ball inside the 15-yard line. And oh boy, you get them 3rd and 10 and you give up 49, George.
Well, and that pretty much puts him over 200 yards or real close to the area.
Yeah, well, he's got a 73, a 64. That's 137, and a 49 there makes 186. It doesn't take too long to get to 200 from there. Good math teacher. Thanks there, Bill Mason. I appreciate that. Never hurts to be able to come do those calculations. Here comes Meyer off the right-hand side. Hit in the backfield. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another one. Gets to the outside, inside the 10. Knocked out inside the 5-yard line. And I believe the Giants have another first down or real close to it at the 4-yard line. Meyer, good juking and jiving there. And looks like they're going to put it at the 5. 2nd and 1 coming up after a gain of 9 yards. So 2nd and a short one here for the Giants. And now the clock stopped because Meyer was forced out of bounds. So the clock not running here. Here comes the wishbone look for the Giants. In scoring position here at the 5-yard line. Turn around. Fake it to Skelton. Give it. No, it did go to Skelton. And he gets down, and he's got enough for the first down. Looks like they're going to put the ball at about the 2-yard line. So we'll call it a gain of 3. And 1st and goal coming up for the Giants from the 2-yard line. The The Giants score here makes it very, very difficult for the Broncos to get 2 scores possibly in the last 7+ minutes in this game. First and goal from the 2. Giants walk to the line, using every second off of that clock. Hanuxala under center, turns around, hands it off to Skelton, and he is stopped.
Ball carrier. No gain on the play.
So they'll put the ball down about the 1 yard line. We'll give them a gain of 1 there, I believe.
A few other Broncos in on the stop.
Connor
We'll see.
Tominski
No.
got the.
Connor Tominski in there.
Yeah.
88. Also in on the tackle.
We'll call it no gain. I will agree. They put the ball at the 2 yard line, so second and goal from the 2. Broncos need to find a way to come up with a stop, and the Giants are saying, let that clock roll, let it roll. Heck, even if you don't score here, George, if you're the Mesabi's Giants and you take another minute or so off the clock, no problems there. Second and goal from the 2 yard line. Ball on the near hash. Hanuxala looks like he could be turning around to hand this off to Skelton, and
Skelton, the ball carrier.
he's into the end zone.
Using the end zone for a touchdown for the Giants.
So that puts them up 26-12 now on the 2 yard run by Gavin Skelton.
International Falls, 12.
And so the Giants go 63 yards, 49 of them coming on the Hanuxala run. All 7 plays of that drive were runs, and they take a 26-12 lead with 7:09 remaining. And a 2-point conversion here that would put the Giants up by 16. That
Tough to do.
That makes it very difficult to come back from that. They would need, obviously, the 2 touchdowns and both 2-point conversions. And the Broncos have got neither one of those tonight in the ballgame. And Huxley under center. Hands this nose. Going to play action pass. Throws it into the flat. 2 guys there. Catches it, but outside. And so the pass will not get the 2-point conversion. And the Broncos stay within 14 at 26-12. Whew.
26, International Falls, 12. 7:09 left to play in the game.
So,
Are you sure this field's 100 yards long? It seems to be running back and forth. Incredible.
yeah, absolutely here. And the Broncos trailing by 14. We'll see what the Broncos can come up with here to answer back. And they need to answer back quickly.
Yeah, they do.
And obviously, always a onside kick is a possibility after the Broncos score. But, of course, they first have to get that score. And they last drive, going back and looking at that, they went 9 plays, 80 yards, 6 runs, 3 passes, and were able to get themselves back within a score. And so as we come back out here now, I see Anthony Sari jogging back there. I don't think I've seen him back there to help cover kicks very much this
And
year.
Helene, too.
And Helene as well, along with, yes, that is Thompson on the near side. So Helene,
Hal is there, and
Kicking off again.
so here comes the kickoff from Swanson. It's in the air. Hit number 15 there. Rolls into Helene's hands at the 22. Makes a couple moves. 30, 35, and he's going to be brought down at the 37-yard line. So a return of 15 yards there. And I have to double check this to make sure. That was Alex Larson, number 15, whose hands that ball, that kickoff, skipped off of. So the Broncos will start 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line, 63 yards away. So 7:01 remaining. Broncos need 2 touchdowns and at least 1.2 2-point conversion.
One 2-point conversion.
Thank you. 2 receivers each side. Dropping back is Helene. Faces a little pressure. Now he's going to pull it down. He's going to run 40, 45, midfield. Moves back to the inside 45, a little stiff arm, and it'll be brought down. We'll see where the linesman puts him. Right at the 40. Wow, great spot to the 42-yard line. It's a gain of 21 yards. And 1st and 10 for the Broncos at the 42-yard line. I could see that he could have marked that ball all the way back at the 44, but we'll take the extra 2.
yes, we will.
3 receivers to the far side, 6:45 and counting remaining. Helene drops back to pass, faces a 4-man rush, looking for Larson down the near side, catches it at the 20, and pushed out of bounds inside of the 20. A little pitch and catch to number 34 from Helene. They put the ball down at the 18-yard line. Got to see where the umpire is going to. Yeah, 18-yard line, gain of 24 on the play. And 1st and 10. So 21 and 24 puts the Broncos in business at the 18-yard line. Helene takes a snap. Here comes the blitz. He rolls outside of it. Looking. Now he's going to pull it down. 15, 10, 5, and touchdown, I believe. No, marked out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Umpire says he was knocked out, so 15 yards on the carry and 3 plays, 3 first downs. Great block by 17, our producer Jay Boyle says. John Borger getting the credit there. 1st and goal for the Broncos at the 3-yard line. Helene, along with Jackson Germain in the backfield. Helene takes the snap, looks to throw it, and boy, that's knocked away. He was looking for
and that was
Schultz.
awfully close to being intercepted.
I was already ready to say that it was intercepted. And so 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Now clock stops with 6:25 remaining. Broncos have taken just 44 seconds off the clock on this drive. 2nd and goal from the 3. Blitz coming. Helene throws it into the corner. Sari's there. Can't come up with it. Just out of his reach. Give the line credit for coming up with the block on that blitz up the middle. But now 3rd and 3 for the Broncos. Trailing 26-12. This number 3 versus number 6. The Broncos, of course, supposed to play at home tonight. Field unplayable. Move this game down here to Mountain Iron-Buhl. Start late. I haven't even looked to see what time it is. I know it's well past Tim's bedtime. 10 to 11 on a Tuesday night. 2 wide receivers each side. Helene takes it, throws it in the flat. Schultz catches at the 3. He's in for the score. And the Broncos have closed it to 26-18. So the Broncos take less than a minute off the clock to drive 63 yards on 6 plays. And the 3-yard pass to Schultz. And we'll see what the Broncos decide to do here on the 2-point conversion. They're 0 for 2 so far. Looks like they're going to keep the ball in the middle of the field. 2 receivers each side. Helene along with Jackson Germain in the backfield. Drops back to pass. Looks to the left, throws it up, and Sari comes up with it off the tip.
Flipped it up.
I believe hit the hands of the Mesabi East receiver, and he will pull it down. So Sari cuts it to a 6-point deficit as Helene gets the 2-point conversion pass. And the Broncos within 26-20. 6:17 remaining, too early to go to an onside kick.
It is. The defense does have to pull up with this. They have to stop in this drive, and hey, they might get an opportunity to win this.
A 52-second drive. They made it look so easy,
bad.
George.
They did.
That is the way you take care of things, and so
Jason and his cousin Riley, they do a great job.
Make it look easy, and then, of course, you got plays at 21, 24, 15. You get down to the 3, and then it takes 3 plays to get in from 3 yards out, but the Broncos do that, and they now trail 26-20. You might recall, George, 18 years ago, the Broncos won a quarterfinal game by the final score of 28-26 over Crosby Ironton. You remember that night?
I do, yeah.
You remember how close we came to letting that one slip out of our hands?
I do.
Whew. The Rangers showed us something that night. Makes my stomach churn just thinking about it all over again, George. Schultz ready to kick it off here, back deep. Our Skelton and Levander, I believe. Low driving kick that will come to rest at the 20-yard line into the hands of Skelton. Remember, he returned 180 before, but number 54, Travis Kaler, says, you're not getting by me this time. He's brought down at the 33-yard line, so a return of 13 yards, and the Giants will start there, 1st and 10. Broncos would love to see a 3-and-out here, yes?
Yes, we would.
Oh, my.
Yes, they would.
I'm looking at that 2-point conversion on our replay here, and boy, what a catch by Sari. Bronco fans telling them, watch the wide side of the field. 4 receivers, 2 to each side. Hanuxla puts a man in motion. Gives it off to Skelton. Pitter patters in the backfield, and then not much further, and the Broncos lay him on his back.
Maybe a gain of 1 on the play.
And it is going to be number 34, Riley Larson, along with 24 and 58. Also there on the tackle. They'll give him 2 yards on the carry. 2nd and 8 now for the Giants from their own 35. Both teams have 3 timeouts remaining. Giants, you would think, would be happy to keep this ball on the ground, not want to put it in the air, keep that clock running, but hey, you just never know. Keeping the ball in number 2's hands has been a pretty successful call for the Giants. 2nd and 8, in motion goes Meyer. This is a counter to Levander. He's into the linebacker level, and he's going to be brought down there at the 40-yard line. A gain of 5 after Mathis and Lovelace come up with the tackle, but 3rd and 3 coming up now for the Giants from their own 40-yard line. Chant from the Bronco sideline of defense coming up here. That's what the Broncos need as the clock rolls under 5 minutes remaining. The Broncos trail it 26-20. Happy to have you along here on kcc-tv.org or Midco Channel 7 as you watch this Section 7 2A playoff game. 2 receivers to each side. Hanuxla in the shotgun, puts Meyer in motion, pitches it to him. He's in the backfield. Oh, there's a cut block right there. How can you miss that? There comes the flag.
Here comes the
They
flag.
didn't. And that is not only, I'm not only saying that that's a penalty, but that's downright dirty to cut a guy when he's not looking like that. I'm just going to call it the way it is.
This is 15 big ones. It's got to be.
That is going to be a big penalty here on the Giants, and anybody who is going to complain about this call, that's a tough play. That's a play that could injure Riley Larson right in the side of the knee, and so the officials,
they've been calling that an awful lot this season, and rightly so. A lot of people get hurt off that block.
so they're going to mark this off from the 37-yard line. So I think this is going to be possibly a penalty of 18 yards when all is said and done. So let's see how far the umpire walks, and it'll be a penalty of 13 yards, 10 yards only from the spot of the foul. So put the Giants back on their 27, and now it's 3rd and 16. You might recall, I think the last time the Giants had something of this length, and I'm going back and looking in my book right now, George. Again, the Bronco fans selling, watch the wide side of the field. So the Giants, clock stopped with 4:33 remaining here. Need to come up with something that will give them a chance at 16, but also not put themselves in peril here. They do lead 26-20. 2 receivers each side. Hanuxla going to keep this one off the left-hand side. He's into the linebacker level, and then Lovelace catches him from behind, pulls him down. It's a gain of 2 yards for Hanuxla, and it's going to be 4th and 14 coming up. They'll mark him at the 30, a gain of 3. So 4th and 13 in a punting situation, and I would guess that number 27, Brian Koenig, will drop back to about his 40-yard line. And I would say be under explicit instructions to catch the ball in the air. Do not let this ball roll on the turf. Of course, a block punt would go a long ways, but you don't want to get the penalty here either.
No,
so
you don't.
3:50 and counting. Snap a little high, kick is away. It's short. It's very short. It's to the near side. It's going to land at the 47. We'll take Giants roll, and they are going to put it down at the 48. So an 18-yard punt gives the Broncos outstanding field position as they will start in Giants territory at the 48-yard line with 3:45 remaining. A touchdown ties it. A 2-point conversion would put the Broncos into the lead.
This is what you say. The fence will give the offense an opportunity to win the game, and that's what we have right now.
2 receivers, 2 to each side of the field. Helene has Jermaine in the backfield with him. They'll put Sari in motion, make trips to the far side of the field. Handoff to Jermaine. Tries to get to the outside. He'll pick up 2 yards on first down and bring up 2nd and 8 from the Giants' 46-yard line. Jermaine had 2 hands on that ball, and he was not going to take those 2 hands off there. He was not going to fumble the ball in this situation. Trips bunch now for the Broncos to the right-hand side. Larson remains the sole receiver over here. Swanson covers him man-to-man. Helene takes the snap, looks left, throws left, looking for Larson. A battle there. Swanson's going to come up with the easy interception, but there is a flag down, and I think it's going to be pass interference
I think it is
on
too.
the Giants. So hold the phone there on the interception. If the interception holds, it would be the 6th turnover of the game for the Broncos.